Garrett pointed at the toolbox and said,
"Pack that up and get out of this hallway."
Jerome looked at him. Then he said,
"You have about 30 minutes before this elevator locks everyone inside. We'll manage. Go."
Jerome closed the box and left. It was a Saturday night in Chicago, mid-November, snow outside, 300 guests at a charity gala on the 14th floor. The only way up or down was the elevator. The stairwell was under renovation and closed. Jerome had shown up at 8:30 with a small metal toolbox, corners worn to bare silver. Work shirt, safety boots, no hotel badge. He said the building engineer had called him in. A sensor on 14 was throwing a cascade error. I checked the approved maintenance schedule. His name was not on it. I radioed Garrett. Garrett came around the corner, looked at the toolbox, looked at Jerome, and made the call in 4 seconds. No approved work order meant no access. Policy, final. Jerome did not argue. He said what he said about 30 minutes and walked toward the service exit. I told myself we had followed protocol. I watched him go and said nothing. At 9:05, the elevator locked, all 3 cars, simultaneously. Automatic safety response to an unresolved cascade error, exactly what Jerome had described. 300 people trapped on 14. No stairs. No override code in the hotel system. The internal crew stood in front of the panel and did not touch anything because none of them had worked on this system before. Garrett called Jerome at 9:08. Jerome picked up on the second ring. Did not mention the hallway. Just asked which car was showing the primary lock code. Said he would be there in 8 minutes. He walked back in with the same worn toolbox under his arm. Garrett stepped aside. Jerome went to work. The rest of us watched through the gap in the service door. 22 minutes later, the elevator opened. When the guests came down, some still holding their drinks, Garrett was near the front desk with nothing to do and no one asking him anything. Patrice found me after the room cleared.
He wrote the override protocol for this system in 2009. What he did tonight does not exist in any manual. It only exists in him.
Jerome had maintained this building's elevators for 22 years. Every tool in that box was something he had modified himself to fit this specific system. Nothing in there came off a shelf. I found him before he reached the parking garage, told him I should have asked questions instead of letting Garrett run him out. He said,
"Next time something looks wrong, ask the person fixing it, not the person managing the room."
I put that in my phone before I got home. It is still there. You don't always know who's holding things together until they're gone and it falls. Tell me honestly, would you have walked back in after the way Garrett spoke to you?